continue to follow the plea deal in Luigi Mangione's federal case, as well as the legal fallout.
And joining us now to talk about all this is Stephen Silverman, managing partner from Silverman Thompson. Thanks so much for joining us.
My
We
pleasure.
really appreciate it. All right, so want to start now with today's plea deal. Very interesting. We were kind of chatting about it a second ago, but Mangione admitted that he intended to shoot Brian Thompson. He said that out loud. How significant is that type of admission?
Well, the video kind of spoke for itself, so we all saw it unfold on camera. But the interesting thing is that they were able to get ahead of the state court murder trial, which is scheduled for 30 days, and get this thing in front of a federal judge today, which is a very strategic move that could completely eliminate the state court trial.
Could. But hasn't yet. So the question is, you stand in federal court.
Right.
You confess, albeit you confess. You don't exhibit remorse, though, but you confess. And so the question is, without the assurances that the state case will be dropped, how is this not a legal gamble on the part of his defense attorneys?
Well, if they did not do this, he would have 2 trials. Each trial would face a maximum of life in prison without the possibility of parole. So they've basically said, all right, we know we're potentially getting this twice. So let's take the one sure thing, which is pleading guilty in federal court, and then we have a more than a puncher's chance of getting out of the state court case completely. Because New York has double jeopardy laws that are much different than Maryland. So by pleading federally, he very well may eliminate the state court case. That would never happen in the state of Maryland, but it will potentially happen in New York. And his lawyers are very sharp, and they've researched this issue, and there's a lot of precedent for this.
So what are the chances? I mean, talk about that precedent that it will get eliminated, the state case.
Well, the predicate facts are the same. I mean, he walked down the street, he pulled out a gun, he shot Brian G. Thompson and murdered him. And so that identical factual scenario is going to bode well for a dismissal of the state court charges under New York law.
So let's say that the state case is in fact dismissed.
Right.
And so he's ultimately sentenced by this particular federal judge. He stands there today, admits everything, provides information that we haven't heard yet, again, doesn't exhibit any remorse, doesn't apologize to the victim's family. How does that impact sentencing, knowing that there is, quite a bit of discretion, correct, when it comes to federal sentencing guidelines?
Yes, so we start with the sentencing guidelines for this crime, which started at number 43 minus 3 for acceptance of responsibility, which puts the guidelines in a range of 24 to 30 years. And the judge could basically is not bound by them. They're discretionary,
Right.
but they are advisory. And the judge could give a sentence anywhere from 24 months. Actually, she could go under, but she probably wouldn't. But she could go all the way up to life, but she probably won't. There are mitigating circumstances. And my colleagues that practice regularly in federal court in this jurisdiction tell me it's very common for a case resulting in a murder for someone to get 30, 40 years.
Wow. Well, that would be a surprise, and I'm sure something
Yes.
not acceptable to the victim's family.
Correct.
Thank you. You've handled a lot of high-profile cases in your life, and so we appreciate your perspective today.
Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure.
Nice to see you.
Thanks.